All right, welcome to Veer. Tonight, we just kind of winged this, so we just decided to sit down and turn it on. So we've got Jake Kilgore here. He is the CEO?
That's good.
CEO, president,
owner,
big kahuna.
Yeah.
At 1Solar.
sales rep.
And then we have Tyson back again. Tyson is
Second appearance.
VP over at 1Solar.
Yes, I am.
And we just wanted to chat a little bit, just talk a little bit about, to get you here is pretty cool because, I think a lot of people don't understand the fulfillment side of the business. They don't, they hear from us sales guys all the time and our sales teams and that part of it. But, for Veer, we chose to work and partner with you because of the quality of work that 1Solar does, that you chose to make happen. And, why don't you tell us a little bit about what separates you, 1Solar from the other fulfillment companies out there?
Okay. We've been in solar now a little over 7 years, and we learned very quickly that mistakes are going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's construction on people's homes. And, I would say first and foremost, things that I noticed very quickly was when you screw up, you better own it and own up to it, correct it, and figure out how to avoid the next time. So one of the things
I got a question for you. I'm cutting you off.
Okay.
So what was your biggest screw up in your first 12 months? Let's hear it.
The first 12 months.
Yeah, your first year in it. Your first year putting panels on the roof. What was your biggest screw up?
I don't know if I can narrow it down to that long ago. That seems like a lifetime ago.
Okay.
I'll just give you a few examples of screw-ups over time. But
okay.
The one that, for me, almost takes the cake almost every time is we were installing a job in Idaho, and we had it was a detached structure, right? So a garage in the backyard, and of course this guy has he has vintage vehicles in there. And we've got a ladder in there, and you can see where this is going. And when we go to Idaho, we were doing blitzes as installers. We'd book 10, 14 jobs a day up there. We'd drive up there, all of our crews, and bang out jobs all day. Well, this job, we literally had the lights of the truck shining on the roof to get this job done, to try to drive home in time.
Okay.
So we finished all the rooftop, and the electrician couldn't finish up. He had to come back the next day. So rooftop guys took off. Electrician left his ladder, A-frame ladder, just up in the garage. And a little bit of wind gust came that night under the garage door.
Oh, God.
And tipped the ladder over onto his 1954 Ford Coupe, one of a kind, never been painted. It had the original paint, which slowly faded over 50 plus years, 60, 70 years, whatever it was. And I had to stroke a check to the homeowner because there was no fixing it. It was I don't even know. I thought I was going to be the proud owner of that vehicle.
Well, if you stroked a check, you technically probably are the proud owner of that.
I stroked a check, and he still owns the vehicle. So that's one that sticks out. But we've dropped panels off rooftops onto cars. Carrying the panel and you lose your footing or a little wind comes and panel,
I had one 2 months ago where we fell right through their kitchen living room, their kitchen, right on their kitchen table.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the installer broke his leg or sprained his ankle or whatever. They ended up having to go to the hospital. My installer my customer messaged me and said, "Hey, remember how I told you that one of my rafters was broken?" And I was like, yeah, I put that in the notes. I let them know, and he goes, "Well, he stepped on it and came right through my kitchen. Kitchen, just the kitchen area."
Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy things have happened, and we haven't been doing this super long. In solar, 7 years is a decent amount of time. In solar, I had an employee steal one of our box trucks, and we found it 2 to 3 weeks later. He's living in it, living in the box truck.
I think that a lot of people who aren't business owners or involved in, operations of a business don't realize all the crazy stuff that goes on. That is just, it happens with everybody. I talk to business owners all the time, and everybody's got crazy stories.
Yep.
Everybody does.
Yeah, it's never ending. And I don't know if it's solar and the boom that's happening and all the attention on solar because, it's driving like it's never driven before, and everyone is just in on it. The homeowners, the sales reps, the installers, everybody is just all in, right? And so it's driving a lot of traffic to solar. Then you throw the component that it's construction, and it's homeowners you're dealing with. It's well, at least we are, like, we're 99% residential,
Right.
so that's a totally different component than commercial or industrial solar or utility scale solar. So yeah, you see it all, man.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem that you run into with homeowners is that they've had an alarm company knock their door. They've had pest control probably done. They've probably had dish service or TV, and that's a quick install. It's an hour, maybe 3 hours max. They're in and out. So when we knock their door and we're portrayed as a company that's door to door and we're going to come and install a system on their home, their expectation is like, oh yeah, they're going to be in and out. But solar is construction. Like, for instance, they installed on my house, brand new. I'd been in my house 3 months, broke 25 tiles on my roof. Expectation is obviously set for me, given I have sold solar and I know it, that the tiles are broken, they're going to be replaced. But if the sales rep doesn't set that expectation with the customer that things could happen, customers, no matter what, are going to be upset if something is broken or damaged, but we're stepping on roof tiles that have been under 115-degree heat for years. They're going to break.
Yeah. And
so sales rep,
absolutely,
tell your customer that some shit's going to happen.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's going to happen. Like, you have questions. Well, when they do the install, are they going to break tiles? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to break tiles
100%.
on every install. Now we're going to replace those tiles.
Yep.
But we're going to break them.
Yep. I mean, it all happens, and I thought I'd seen it all, and until 5 days ago. This is not construction related, but it's well within the stories we're telling.
Okay.
Inside of solar. First time ever. I have a customer who just got installed that week, and all they have to do is net meter. So for those of you out there, the utility company has to just come out and swap out their meter.
Right.
So he's got an old analog meter, and of course it's 30 years old or whatever, and they need to swap it out for a digital.
So is an analog meter the one that had the dial on it?
Just, the old school guy, right?
Yeah,
original.
just spins around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got to swap it out for a digital, nice.
Yeah.
A net meter.
A net meter. So this guy can, not have utility bill.
Right.
And he won't allow it to happen. He's like, I cannot have an updated computerized meter. Okay, what's going on? So he says that if this happens, if you swap out this meter, I'm going to die.
Wait, what? Are you for real?
Okay,
What market was this?
This is in Colorado.
Okay.
It gets better. He's a scientist. He says, and the scientist who lives in my basement agrees with me. He said, I couldn't make this up.
So he's batshit crazy.
He said that aliens told him that if he swaps out that meter, he'll die. What am I supposed to do?
Can you can you keep it? I don't know.
And this isn't,
I'm trying to problem solve.
but this isn't even this isn't a customer trying to get out of it. I mean, he loves solar, wants solar.
You can't problem solve that.
No,
dude.
you can't. No, I was trying to say maybe you could just move it over and act as if it was still acting on the home, then put the net meter in. Try to accommodate.
I don't know what's going to happen, but he's got rooftop solar.
What's the customer's name?
I can't say the customer.
Please tell me it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only asking because I'm just wondering if it's one of my reps.
Yeah. So it's extremely unique, but that's kind of off the path a little bit from what we're talking about. But what it comes down to is being in solar and working with homeowners. We see it all. And at 1Solar, when we screw up and we mess up, I mean, we do our very best to take ownership of that and fix it and correct it, whether that's a reinstall, a rebate check, a customer check,
Perfect example.
whatever it takes.
Customer of mine. We signed him up, and I had an agreement signed with our original everyday mod. We had that issue going on with that company pulling permits or whatever. They knocked on his door and said, "Oh, you have a 320. Ours is a 340. We're way better." I get in touch with the customer. I'm like, "Well, sir, actually the wattage of the mod doesn't affect the efficiency. It doesn't mean that it's a more superior panel." Yeah. He was set on 340. So Jake, being Jake, was like, "All right, bro." I asked him, I'm like, "Can we get a 340?" So I get a 340 Q cell, comparable panel to what they were offering. He stays with me. Well, what happened is we submitted to permitting with the 320s. We go to the day of install. We install the 320s on his house, and the other company pitched him on a bigger system size, 17 mods, originally with us, and then it went to 19. He went out, he counted them. He's like, "Wait." And then he got his net metering application thing from NV Energy, and it showed 5.7. He needed 6.2. So he realized that we installed the wrong mods and the wrong size on his house. So he hits me up very upset. Like, "You guys installed the original contract. What the hell, blah, blah, blah." No joke. Hit up 1Solar, hit up Mick, and they were out there within 48 hours, took the panels down, installed the 340s. Customer literally wrote me and said, "It's not with anything in business or when you purchase something as a homeowner, it's not how the company reacts. It's not what the company does or the mistake that they make. It's how they react." And he wrote us like one of the most positive reviews ever. And we installed originally the wrong system on his house.
That's awesome.
So, but in 48 hours, we had the panels down and the new one, or the one that was updated, installed on his house.
Yeah,
so it's pretty cool.
That's a great story, because that is literally what I preach and I live by, whether it's in my home or at work or playing sports. You screw up, you learn from it, and you own it, and you make it better. You make it right.
Right.
Yeah, I think those are basic principles you could teach to your kids, something that we could all live by that makes us a better human. I believe that. Yeah,
it's taken me, even as a leader, in different businesses and different things in my life, it's taken me a long time to get there. Yep. Sometimes you got to tuck your tail between your legs and own it, and it's hard to do that sometimes.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm getting gray hairs now, and it's a little easier.
Dude,
they've taught me a lot.
Hairs. I am. You
got like three in there, huh?
You wonder why I get my sides so short? Bro, my fiance every day is like, "Dude, every haircut you get, there's more grays coming in."
Yeah.
Bro, I'm going to be sitting at this table a year from you guys. We're going to be the salt and pepper clan.
He's only getting wiser, man.
Yeah, that's true.
One day we'll catch Thad. We'll catch him one day.
Well, I'm pushing 100, so.
I know. We'll catch you.
100 installs a month.
So let me ask you another question. So that's one thing that separates. When you make a mistake, you own it. What else?
I think from day one, I've had a focus on simplicity. Okay. And I believe that simple wins. Always. I don't like to use absolutes like the word always, but I do believe that simple always wins. And so whether we're structuring our permitting team or engineering team, comp plans for sales teams, strategies going into a market, simplifying everything that we do is something that I feel like we have an advantage. We have an advantage when it comes to how we operate because we're very simple. It's black and it's white as much as possible. If you look at our website that we redesigned, we put out a new website earlier this year, and it focuses on two things. And I believe that 1Solar's customer base is the sales teams we support, those are our customers, and homeowners are our customers. If everything that we do satisfies our customer base, then we're going to continue to win.
Yeah.
That's it. And so when I create comp plans for my employees or my salespeople, it's very black and white, and it's very simple. It's not 2 pages of adders.
Yeah.
It's not.
That if I and like I said, I've known Jake for a very long time. I got started in the industry with him. I was lucky enough to partner back up with him a couple years ago. But this is the way that I've put it from my perspective of being with you now for another 2.5 years. Is why do you think In-N-Out's so successful?
Simple menu.
Simple, bro. You've got what, 1 through 4?
Yeah.
Burger King's got what, 1 through 20?
Yeah.
You go there, you know what you want, you get it. And I was lucky enough to be involved in the experience. We acquired a company, I don't know, about a year ago. And we actually went state to state reviewing like everything with this company. And I never really understood Jake's model of like, dude, here's the panel that we have. Yeah, we have an upgraded panel. Here's the inverter we use. Here's the racking we use. This is the financing we use. And this is why, because it makes the experience from start to finish good for you, the customer, 1Solar, everybody. And I was always the one being VP with everyone in my ear being like, dude, why don't you have this? Why don't you have that?
Yep.
But the reason why companies suffer is because they offer all of those things that complicate the process. Auric went under not because they didn't have sales, not because they didn't have dealers, and they didn't have all the infrastructure to be a good company. They went under because they offered 20 inverters, 40 panels, 20 different financing. So when we went through all their paperwork and all their documents, dude, you didn't know what was going on. 1Solar, this is what you get. This is what the customers offered. Keep it simple. And I never understood why Jake operated that way. And I've grown a ton of business because I was like, shit, there's a reason why In-N-Out's so successful. There's a reason why 1Solar, I believe, is so successful, is because this is what you're going to get. This is how we operate. And if you do this, you're going to get the best experience with the most quality install in the industry.
And it's simple, but it's backed with the best
Quality.
products.
Well, of
so
course.
it's the best panel, it's the best inverter, it's the best installation.
Yes, of
it's
course.
the best timeline. And that's why I love and my people love so much is that the process is simple, it's easy, but we're giving the customer the best value for their money.
So why do you think
We're
I
not
compared
the
it?
cheapest.
Why
We're
do you
not the
think-
cheapest, but the
Yes.
dollar for dollar best value you can get. And that's what I love about it.
And why did I compare it to In-N-Out? What's their motto?
Quality.
Quality you can taste. But that's the reason why it works, is it is quality, but it's simple. Of course we wouldn't, 1Solar wouldn't, I'm not going to say me as 1Solar, but 1Solar wouldn't be where it's at if it wasn't quality, right? You can tell everyone, how did I get you convinced to come to 1Solar?
Quality install.
Exactly.
That was my biggest thing.
I drove you around to
Yep. You
3 or
drove me
4
around and we
installs.
looked at installs and looking at installs, I was like, that's how I want my house to look. That's what I want my roof to look like.
Exactly.
And now I can go into a customer's home and my people can go into a customer's home and literally know that they're giving that customer the best system and install in the city, period.
Done.
Period.
That's why
we have the
I'm
best
here.
panels. We have the best installation. We have the fastest timeline. We have the best warranties. Like, there is zero, hands down. Oh, we've got the best loan options too. Like, I love that my people come in and they're like, why do I work here at Veer? Because I'm able to offer the best product to the customer, period.
And you can look a customer in the face and say, you don't need to shop around.
Yeah, you don't need to shop around.
You don't need to shop around. I'm sure you can find it cheaper, but what comes along with that?
Right.
It's pretty. And I've learned that. I've been in the industry now going on 10 years. I'm like a dinosaur. And I finally figured it out where I'm like, yeah, I don't have people shop around on me because they buy me and my confidence in the company that I chose to do my installs. And then I've been lucky enough to pass that down to my guys.
We have a line that all of us use, and it's like, listen, if you're shopping on price, I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. And I don't want customers who are shopping just on price. I want people who are looking for the best deal out there.
Yeah.
And deal isn't price.
It's not.
Yeah, and I look at it the same way. Again, if we're talking about 2 different groups of customers to 1Solar, the EPC, homeowners, making it simple for the homeowners,
Yeah.
right? And then I try to make it simple for our sales teams. And by doing that, there's not a whole lot of options. You don't need options. Like the sales rep's supposed to be the expert. 1Solar is supposed to be the installation expert, telling you what is best, what warranties are best,
Right.
what product is best. I buy from one company, right? I buy everything from the same place. I don't need to shop to 10 different suppliers. I go one spot, and we pick this inverter and this panel and this racking, we do, and just wash, rinse, repeat all day long, and you can just churn over that fast. So the way that we're operating procedurally is very simple, but then I take that to the next level, which is our growth strategy, right? And the markets that we're in and why we choose those markets. It's the same philosophy.
So why do you choose those markets?
So the first reason we choose the markets is just geographic dominance, if you want to use that word. Our strategy has always been from day one for over 7 years now to gobble up as much market share as possible in the market that you're in. There's no reason to be in my opinion, 10 plus markets if you're doing, 10, 20 deals a month in each market. What is the point? And I've said it for a long time, and I'll continue to say it. Until I drive about 13 miles to work. I know the mileage because I've ran it a few times.
Okay.
Now, if I said until I drive from my house to my office in Utah, from Farmington to Woods Cross, 13 miles, until I drive and there's not a house without solar on it, we're going to keep selling here. I don't need to go to Texas or South Carolina.
Illinois.
They're great markets. I totally agree. Solar makes sense, actually, in every city in America. But 1Solar doesn't make sense in every city in America today.
Yeah.
Right? So the strategy to stay geographically close and sound means that I can hop on a flight and in an hour I'm in your city, hour and a half.
Yeah.
If we need to swap inventory or a truck goes down, I got to move a truck or move inventory, move a guy, or, we've done it before down here where we blitz crews down here to get caught up for installs, whatever it means. That gives us an advantage. And that strategic advantage of just keeping it simple and growing smart has given us advantage over the years.
Do you find that a lot of other fulfillment companies don't grow smart? I mean, we've seen it, right? We've seen it recently, too.
Me and Jake went through it.
We've seen it.
We started 10 years ago. What happened to the company we were in business with the first 3 years?
Yeah, they had a goal to open up a new market.
47 markets in 47 months?
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
I don't know. It was a lot. It was
like
10
ridiculous.
markets in 10 months or something crazy. And that doesn't make sense from a installation or construction position. It just doesn't. And so, again, I revert back to simplicity. Like, what is simple? What makes sense? How can I provide the most amount of value to my customers? That's the sales teams and the homeowners. And that's being homegrown and being in your market and not subbing anything out. Keep it all in-house. Communicate.
So let's talk about that for a minute, too, because that's really big, and it's something that, separates 1Solar from all the others, is all of your people who are on roofs doing installs, they're employees of yours. You don't sub out any of your work. And I think that's very rare to find. And what do you find the benefit of that is?
It is very rare.
It's incredibly,
especially
rare.
like I said earlier, how quickly solar is growing. I mean, companies are just trying to figure out a way to keep up at whatever cost. And I won't do that. I won't do that at whatever cost. Let's just keep up. No, let's slow the growth down and figure this out and do this methodically.
Yeah.
But the benefit, obviously the benefit from a financial standpoint is, I don't have to sub it out and pay double to have someone else go do that, right? So from a financial standpoint, it allows me to use the margin or the money in that internally to support my customers, so to pay my employees and to cover everything. That's obviously a benefit, but to control the timeline, to communicate with the homeowner, all of these things, I get to control the quality, right? I get to control who works for us and who who's on your roof or who's in your attic. That's incredibly important to the standards that we live by at 1Solar.
Because imagine Thad, if 1Solar was to sub something out and they weren't under our umbrella, do we know that they're going to do quality work? How do you manage that?
You don't.
Yeah, they
You
could go
don't.
do choppy work, send you an invoice, you pay them, and then they're off into the wind.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, we are a sub to other companies who can't maintain their volume. They can't keep people employed, and we do that, and it brings in a bunch of volume, and we get a lot of extra work because other solar companies hire 1Solar to do their jobs. What does that tell you?
Tells you a lot.
It tells you a lot.
It tells you a lot.
Some of those big ones use us exclusively in some of our markets. They won't use anyone else
Wow.
because they can't pass inspections, or they can't do this, or they can't do that, and they'll use us, and they'll pay more to use us because I'm not doing it for free.
Yeah, and they haven't figured out how to do it on their own and do it right.
Yep, that's exactly
So-
right.
So let's talk about the install for a minute. So here in Vegas, we know that with 1Solar, all of your jobs that can, I mean, which is most of them, all are attic runs, where I think the homeowners don't know what that means and why it's so important. Can you tell us about that?
Sure, and that was something we learned very, very early on in solar. When we were first trained how to install, it wasn't attic runs, and it didn't take us very long to figure
So what
out.
is an attic run?
So the attic run is the electrical wiring that connects the panels to the inverter on the side of the house or the service. So you have to somehow you install rails and panels on your house, and then you install it depends on your inverter, but typically we install an inverter on the side of the home, very close to where your utility service is.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you have to connect the power source of the solar panels to your service panel with wiring and a conduit that's an inch or two thick.
Right.
So that conduit run can be all over the roof, especially if you have multiple arrays.
Okay. What's an array?
An array is a group of panels. So you
Okay.
might have 6 panels on the west face, 12 panels on the east face, and some on the south face.
Yeah.
Somehow those have to be connected, right?
Right.
They're connected through electrical wiring. We'll just keep it simple. And that has conduit, and it has to be weatherproof and stickered and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And we chose a long, long time ago, before it was even somewhat normal in the industry. We do not want that crap on the roof and then bent over the soffit and fascia and around and then ran down the house.
Yeah. Coming off the roof, like
It like blows in the
over
wind.
the overhang and then tucked back up under the rain gutter and then coming down the side.
Sunrun just installed a system this morning, which angers me. Leaving my neighborhood 4 houses up from mine, Sunrun's there, and I just watched them do the conduit, and it's just hooked over the side of their soffit, and it just irritates me so much. I
So-
still wanted to knock on the
Do
customer's
you know?
home.
Do you know how upset I am that
That it's
my
done on your
install
home?
on my
I
house?
remember how upset you were because I drove you around, and
Yeah.
you were like,
It is
"Wait."
like that on my house.
I remember you didn't know that. I mean, maybe
I
you
didn't know.
did.
No, I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I didn't know.
So I drove you
And I was
around.
like, "What do you mean that's not normal? That's
Well, look.
What are you talking about?"
At the end of the day, it's not the worst thing in the world. But if you know that it can be done a better way, why aren't you doing it?
That's what I say
Right.
to every homeowner.
Why aren't you doing it?
Absolutely.
I say that to every homeowner, Jake.
Yeah, and these installers are the professionals of their trade, and they know better.
So it's shortcuts. It's a shortcut
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
because going through the attic's more difficult, takes more time.
I watched
and
them
guess
go
what?
through my attic,
If
and
it-
they
if
came
it-
down sweating
we're in,
bullets.
we're in Las Vegas, and if
Yeah.
it's 114 outside on the roof, it's about 160 in your attic.
Yes, it is.
Right?
So they're not getting in the attic to get to shade,
No.
right? So if they don't
Can
get
we
in the
offer
attic,
them radiant barrier?
we could put some sort of NASA developed product in there for sure. But yes, and that's again, it's not the worst thing in the world, but if you know a better way to do it, take some extra time
And a cleaner way and a
do it.
nicer way. Just do it.
Yes,
That and
yes.
Jake, that's how I pitch it to homeowners. If they have multiple bids, and I'm very versed on knowing which companies do attic runs and which don't, and there's only actually one other from us that I know that does it in Nevada
as a standard.
as a standard.
And-
There'll
and
always
it-
be an adder for it. and then they'll do it, which is a huge cost to the homeowner.
Yep. And to our homeowners out there, an adder is something that you pay for on top of your price.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
We're adding that to the price.
I'm
Exactly.
sorry
It's an adder.
you have tile and a 9-12 pitched roof and you want it to look nice.
So it's $3,000.
That's going to cost you
now.
$3-4 grand more. What?
Yeah. But the
Right?
way I pitch it, Jake, is I will literally, in most cases, I can be in a home and I know that their neighbors have solar, and more than likely, there is a conduit ran on their roof that's gone over the gutter. About 90% of the time, to be honest, I can find one in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
I take the homeowner out, and I tell them, I say, do you think it's easier to install like that, or to actually go through the attic so that we keep the aesthetics of your home looking beautiful? The homeowner every time says, well, of course it would be easier to do that. Why doesn't everyone do that? And I said, well, exactly, because it's more tedious, it takes more time, it is more expensive, it's more work to the installer, but that's not even an adder for 1Solar. In your job that I'm showing you, that's the standard, and that's what you're going to get. And then now that I have solar, and I'm lucky enough to have it installed on my home, and they put it through the attic, I pull up my phone, and I show them my house, and I say, that's how we'll install in your house. And I promise you, cost at that point is out the window.
It really is.
What's a homeowner's biggest investment?
Their home.
Their house. So to keep it looking beautiful, as opposed to having this like J-hooked conduit off the side of their home, I'm sorry, but like I said, I saw that install today as I was leaving my neighborhood, and I felt bad. I didn't.
Thanks,
sorry,
Tyson.
Sorry, Dad.
I drove past Pat's house.
Hey, I will be honest. I have never noticed it on your home, and I've been to your house many times.
Well, I notice it every time I pull in the driveway.
Okay.
Thanks to Tyson for pointing it out.
Yes.
Hey, but that's what led you to. Dude, the one thing that sold you the most, I mean, I use that as a selling point, like I do for homeowners. For those of you that don't know that are watching this, I actually jumped in a truck with Thad and drove around for an hour and a half, showing him me looking up addresses of homes. Oh yeah, okay, right here. Driving down the street, that's the house, and I would show Thad the 1Solar install compared to the current EPC that he was working with.
Yeah.
And it was no conduit.
Yeah,
visible.
that was a major reason I made the switch. It was a major reason I made the switch. The other reason I made the switch was because of you. The conversations I had with you, which went over for months, and the relationship that I built with you and the trust that I had in you, that was one of the main reasons I did that. So, and it's worked out. It's been everything you said you were going to do for my team and my customers has come true. Every bit of it. So, that's why I'm a 1Solar fan. That's why I wear the brand, and that's why I preach it so much, is because that you fulfill everything you say you're going to do. If you say, like we had a mistake on a commission for one of my reps, and it was like, dude, you handled that like in a second, and I'd never had that experience before. 20 years being in business as a dealer.
Elaborate on that story for people.
So
if you remember it in detail.
God, it's tough for me to remember it in detail, but
if not, I think I remember it.
I think there was something where there was a mistake made on a set price.
That's right.
There was a mistake made on a set price where the pricing had come in and the price on the system was wrong. And the rep went in and sold it because that was the proposal that they got. And after it was done and documents were done, I got the final docs and I was like, whoa, the price is wrong. Mm-hmm. And I think it was like a $6,000 swing. It was a big difference.
Yeah,
or nine. Sorry, it was $9,000.
It was off $9,000.
Yes.
We had priced it wrong by $9,000.
Yeah. Which is huge. And then it's
Which, of course, you noticed immediately.
I noticed immediately, right? And then I was like, oh, crap. And I'm like, how are we supposed to go back to this customer and ask them for $9,000 more? Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, we're both losing money, right?
I'm not going to do that. It's wrong to do that.
Yeah.
And my first call was to you, and I said, Jake, dude, your team up there made a mistake. They threw this bid in, and it's $9,000 off. And there wasn't even a debate. You were like, don't worry about it. Your guy's getting paid the full commission on the amount. Forget about it. I'll eat it.
I got a phone call from you.
And
on
I
that.
was like, what? And there was no, like, the conversation was over.
Yeah. I said, hey, we screwed up, right? I
Yeah.
owned it and said, we screwed up. That's our bad. I'll cover it. Homeowners
Yeah.
taken care of. Everything's taken care of.
And the
one-
moment that happened, it was like, okay, I'm dealing with somebody different. Because I had previous relationships with ADT and with Monotronics as a dealer for them for so many years, and that would never have happened. And it was my first experience in that, and it was everything you had told me before I had came on board was solidified in that one phone call.
One moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. He called you about it.
And then I called Jake about it. Yeah. You
Yeah.
called me. You're like, dude, this is a huge deal. It's $1 a watt off on a.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Yeah,
a
it was
huge deal.
$9,000. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
mistakes happen, but I think it goes back to what Jake said about making mistakes as far as the install goes.
yeah,
They're gonna make mistakes as
Absolutely.
an EPC that has partners like us, and I mean I would be the first one to always speak on a negative experience, but I've been with them for 2 years, and as far as a dealer that trusts them to do my installs, as far as pay or I don't know the things that didn't go that way with my past relationship. I haven't had issues like that. I have had issues on installs. That happens with every single.
Oh, even
that you're never going to get away from that. Cause
no,
we're
that's
doing
just normal.
construction.
It's
even with
construction,
pay.
dude.
And
I
then
mean, we miss stuff and we screw
But
up.
Yeah.
I mean, it has never
Yeah.
gone to a point where it's been an argument. You guys reconcile, you know what's
No.
up, and then you handle it. But
Yeah,
like of course there's installation issues, and then there's customers, buyers or liars, right? That's always going to happen. But you guys have 1Solar's always made it right, and my reps are at a point now where they confidently know to tell their customers, yeah, something happened, but it's going to be taken care of because the majority of them have experienced a small issue that to a homeowner, it's a big one, and then it's always taken care of.
yeah. So I think that's also a reason why your growth has been what it's been, and your reputation is what it is because you stand by that. And when you stand by that, you're going to attract more people, and you're going to attract quality people too. So, yeah, that's what I love about working with you. I mean, it really is. Like
Thank you.
you're just a stand-up dude, and you make things happen, and you handle everything that you say you're going to do.
Well, thank you. No, I think
Zero double talk, dude.
Yeah. No, you guys, I mean, Thad, Tyson, you guys have, it's been an incredible, I mean, you just go back 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. I mean, it has been incredible. And I feel like we're just getting started. And,
We are
and
just
I
getting
think,
started,
I think
dude.
we all know that this relationship, we're in its infancy.
Yeah.
And we're just learning how to walk together. And we're growing organically. You know, 1Solar we don't run ads. I don't recruit. You know, people, if you do a good job, they'll find you. And that's why our agreement is so simple. It's, hey, if I do a good job, man, keep putting deals through us. If I do a bad job, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
it need to
I
be
mean,
more complicated than that?
You That asked. You asked me this before you came on. Is there
Exclusivity?
There you go. Exclusivity. That
yeah.
was it. You did ask me.
Yeah.
You're like, is this an exclusive agreement? And I didn't even know at the time. I text Jake, and he's like, no, dude. He's like, if we do a good job, he'll stay. If we don't, he'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know? And it's funny because that's been my response to every dealer that I've brought on or talked to. Is this an exclusive agreement? I just tell him what Jake says. No, man. I mean, if we do a good job, you'll stay.
Yeah, there's no,
Yeah, right?
I say the
there's
same
no
thing.
exclusivity, non-compete, limitations.
Yeah.
I live by that now. I've been that way for a while.
Yeah.
And I just had the conversation 2 days ago with a large solar company who's sending us volume. We got in all the weeds in this contract, and it was 20-something pages long, attorneys, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, we got on this call, and I said, look, man, if I do a good job, you'll use me. If I do a poor job, please go somewhere else. Use someone else.
Yeah.
What is this whole contract and lawyers and come on? You're overcomplicating this thing, and now we're in the weeds. And you know, if I'm late or you're late or there's a fine or a penalty and all this, I mean, adders. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It is not
Yeah.
that complicated.
No,
So
it's not.
I have a question for you, Jake. what was your motive behind rolling out something that I believe out of every company that I know or have dealt with or personally worked with, what was your motive behind rolling out something that I believe no one has, no adders? What was the motive there?
Yeah.
Is it something that we love and we use heavily in our pitches to homeowners and potential reps? I think that's a huge highlight of 1Solar, and I kind of want to get some insight on how you've even thought about that.
Yeah, the no adders thing, which is now a big highlight on our website, from that we launched in January, because again it just goes back to simplicity. Most companies are going to charge you a nickel and dime you for a bunch of different little things, right? They give you a rate, or this is how I'm going to pay you, and if the house has all this other stuff, I'm going to charge you more. And then it gets passed on to the homeowner. Now the homeowner is paying because they have a steep roof or something lame.
Or an MPU.
Yeah, and a part of it was when we went in and looked deep into some of these companies that were failing, that we were acquiring or rolling up, and learning a lot from what they were doing that they should not have been doing. And when you look at a company that has a bunch of adders and how complicated that is, executives will sit in a room for hours about how to create reports to make sure they catch all of these adders.
Wow.
So now you're spending thousands of dollars just making sure your reporting is
and
right
time
to catch the adders. And then I remember
payroll. Then you've got to deduct
oh my gosh,
those adders from the payroll.
which is
Yep.
time.
And the one thing that put me over the top, I'll never forget the night. One of my executives, Jacob Bailey, and I are talking at night, and we came up with the idea, talking late one night over the week, and 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and we just said to each other, "What if we just rolled out a no adders?" and we sat and thought for a second, because we didn't have very many at the time anyway. I think we had like 4.
Very minimal compared to most installers. Yeah, 1Solar's was.
Most companies have a page, 2 pages, and it's columns. There's like 3 columns,
Oh, yeah.
We had maybe 3 to 5, 4 to 5, something like that. And I remember that we got in the conversation because a sales rep wasn't notified soon enough that their homeowner needed an MPU, a service upgrade.
So he
Okay.
couldn't go and charge them for it. That's
Yeah.
what he was upset
So,
about, right?
so Jake, what's an MPU?
MPU is a main panel upgrade. So a service upgrade, meaning your service on the side of your home is maxed out and can't support solar. So most companies charge about $2,000 for that, give or take on the market, right?
Right.
And we discovered it in our designs and our photos, and our engineering team discovered it, and we did the service upgrade. And then we shot an email over to the sales rep and let him know, hey, this costs $2,000 and it's going to come out of your check, or however they informed them. And it caused this fight. And I was like, wait, I'm held to a timeline on when I have to tell you. Well, yeah, because I want to go back and charge the homeowner the $2,000.
So it doesn't hurt his commission.
So it doesn't hurt his commission. He doesn't need
Yep.
it. And 9 times out of 10, the rep would never go back and tell the homeowner. They would eat the $2,000. But when it was to the sales rep's advantage, oh, well, you should have told me, because then I could. So it just got to this thing where we were in the weeds, and it was just, to me, it wasn't worth it. This sales group, could potentially send millions of dollars of volume to 1Solar over a year or 2 time period. And we're over here bickering about $2,000. This is ridiculous. That's kind of how it started, was because we value the relationships that we have with you guys. We truly value you as a customer, and we value the sale. We value what you guys do on the streets and the doors and your marketing campaigns, and there's a cost to that. And what you guys do is incredibly important to 1Solar. So why would I want to jeopardize that or step into that? Why don't we just let bygones be bygones and just throw it out and say, you know what? You worry about selling, I'll worry about installing. Let's dominate the market.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. But do you know how powerful it is as a sales rep to be in a home to notify a customer that if you go out, because because we all take photos here in Nevada. We do a bypass. And there's a lot of times I'm very educated with 10 years of experience, and there's times that I don't know whether it's going to need an MPU or not. But it's so cool to look my customer in the eye and say, hey, there's a high chance here that you're going to actually have this entire service upgraded. It's going to leave you with a bunch of space. It's a new panel. It's going to probably add equity to your home given the shape that the one you currently have's in. And just so you know, I'll notify you that within a couple weeks, and in the case that it happens, we don't charge you for it. Like, that's powerful.
Yeah.
So it's not only powerful for me to recruit people and sales reps, but it's also super powerful being in a home, which I still am often, to tell customers, like, yeah, more than likely 50-50 chance we're probably going to have to upgrade that. And if we do, just go ahead and take care of it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I mean, yeah, you either do that, or some sales reps will, if 1 out of 4 homes needs a service upgrade, they'll charge all 4 homes 25% of a service upgrade. So now you, as a homeowner who doesn't need a service,
you're paying for somebody
you're
else.
paying $500 for the guy next door who needs it, and
Yeah.
that's not right.
No.
And so, when we made that decision, it was last June. It was 13 months ago, and we made that decision, and we have grown tremendously in that time frame. Our retention rate with our sales teams, it has been incredible, because there's no arguing on payroll.
No.
And our turnaround times are just as fast or even faster, because now my staff isn't worried. I've hired, a handful of people in my office, and we've grown exponentially. But I don't have to hire a bunch of people to track down all your adders and make sure I'm charging you appropriately and I'm not losing money. And so it has simplified everything, the retention of the sales teams. It has been one of the best decisions that we've made. I mean, it's top 10 best decisions that I have made at 1Solar in the 7 years.
But isn't it awesome? It fits right back into what we first talked about, was you keeping everything simple.
Yep.
And I've had multiple people, when I explain that to them, they can't wrap their head around it. I've actually had multiple reps or dealers be like, wait, so you're telling me that if I sell a deal and there's an MPU, that I'm not charged for it? I'm like, yes. Do you want me to write it out for you in a text so you have it? You know what I'm saying?
Can I get that in writing?
I swear to you, dude.
Yeah.
I swear to you.
Right, because
the
it's
one-
not industry standard.
at all.
But that's why we're growing the way we're growing, and that's why I talk with my sales staff all the time, and I have a commitment. So same as you have a commitment to me, I have a commitment to my salespeople, and my job is to give them the best product to hit the streets with. Mm-hmm. And when they are looking at attic runs, when they're looking at tier 1 panels, when they're looking at the best financing possible, when they're looking at no adders, I'm setting them up to win. And that's my job for them, is to give them the best product out there, so that if they're sitting in a customer's house and Freedom walks in and lays out some crap, that they're going to know, okay, I don't care what they have to offer. We have the best product, the best service, period, hands down, the best installation in town, no matter what.
And that experience and the simplicity that I create from the top trickles all the way down to every one of your employees, your customers, every one of my employees and my customers, and it goes all the way down, and everybody gets to benefit from that. And that is one of the coolest things that I've seen over the last 12, 13 months. It's just that I've always known that simplicity wins, and that's what has made 1Solar successful from day one. But to take it to another level like we did a year ago, and to see the fruits from that, and to see everyone win, it's really cool to sit back and watch and go, this is working, and the company's thriving. I had a lot of industry friends who own solar companies say there's no way you can do that. You won't survive. You won't make money.
Well, you're flourishing.
Yeah. You're giving it up. It's a race to the bottom, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're finding out very quickly that, oh my gosh, this is a problem for me, because it's working for them.
Yeah.
And they're gobbling up market share.
And I'll tell you that that's one of the things too that our reps appreciate listen, there's a reason why we have the highest deal per rep ratio, period, is because we have a quality to back us.
Yeah.
We've got when we sit down with a customer, we know that we're offering the best thing for them. And my reps now know that, and they understand it. So when I have a sales rep come in or a solar guy come in, they're like, oh, well, what's your commission structure? I'm like, you're not the right fit for us. Like, because you know how we tell customers, right? Listen, if you're shopping on price, I'm not your guy. Say the same thing to reps.
Yep.
If you're shopping on price, I'm not your guy. If you want to offer your customers the best quality of product, you're not going to get paid the most with me.
Right.
But you're going to make a great commission, but you're going to be taking care of your customer. So I look for reps who care about their customers. Hey, I'm going to make money no matter what. As a rep, I'm going to make money, right? But I want to deliver what I say I'm going to deliver to the customers. So those are the type of reps that we're looking for. And we're looking for customers who are looking for that as well. And you've set that up for us to do that.
Very well said.
Yeah, that's very well said. That's exactly right. And I'm going to take it a step further, and we'll transition to something, if that's all right. This model that we have when we went no adders was quickly followed up about 3 months later with the next move that really sets us apart and, again, keeps us on that simple plan, which was creating our own proposal app.
Yeah.
Our own proposal
that
tool.
thing is,
How did I not bring that
that
up?
thing is
I think it's
dope.
a perfect transition. We'll just roll right into it.
Yeah, that thing's dope.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's huge.
And now it's a one-stop. It's close, maybe a month away from a one-stop shop, to where it's the CRM.
Yeah,
Dude, that is so awesome. I mean, you know me, I've worked off QuickBase for 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but
10 years. Yeah, we started developing that in 2011. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, we did that at my expense, at 1Solar's expense, because I went and looked, okay, I want to provide the best offering to our sales teams and to our customers, right? Which is like, how do I provide value? And there's a lot of people in solar who just want to sit back and make money off of other people. That's like the name of the game. How do I make money off of this guy and that guy and that guy and just do nothing, right? This passive income mentality that's corrupting the world and of solar. And
right.
so if I don't provide value, our sales teams are going to leave.
Right.
If I don't provide value, homeowners cancel, right? So
or don't buy it to start with.
they don't even buy. They don't even answer the door. And when it came to the proposal, I'm a firm believer that if your installation company, your EPC, the person doing your install, doesn't provide a proposal tool to you for free, they're ripping you off. Why, in God's green earth, would they charge you?
Yeah.
Why should you have to pay for a proposal?
Yeah.
You're the sales guy. I should be able to show up with a really cool tool that explains and educates a homeowner on solar that doesn't cost me money. Whether they buy or not, I got to pay for that thing?
Yeah.
Why? So
it's been huge.
We started
It's
on that
been
train
huge.
over a year ago, and that has been, alongside the simplicity model and no adder model, that has been critical to what we do. And then you pair that up with, with GoodLeap and LoanPal, now GoodLeap, we're 97% GoodLeap. And the 3%
It's cash.
is cash.
Yeah.
I know everybody else has good finance options, or they're cheaper rates, or they're this or that. But that doesn't fit my model.
But they're not better for the customer.
They're not better for the
GoodLeap is the
customer.
best financing platform out there, hands down. There's nothing that even comes close.
GoodLeap is solar. They are the best team in solar today. I think there might be one coming up that's going to be right there with it. And there's a couple really good teams out there that define solar in the United States, and GoodLeap is in that conversation, if not the conversation.
Right.
And we chose to go partner and exclusive and majority and all that with them, 3 years ago. And it has been incredible. These guys are awesome.
And they've come out with something that's awesome for the customer too. The FlexPay option is, so what we've noticed is customers are loving the FlexPay option. And explain that to them, what that is and why it's benefiting so many customers.
So that the GoodLeap FlexPay option lowers the monthly payment to the homeowner for the first 18 months. 18 months, and it allows them to essentially get into solar for cheaper.
The biggest,
right.
Yes, and the biggest benefit is actually for customers that don't have the high tax liability, to where if their system is $30,000 and their tax credit's around $9,000, that with a normal 25-year 2.99 within the 18 months, if they don't apply the full tax credit amount, then their payment goes up after 18 months. FlexPay actually allows the customer to break up their tax credit over the 5-year period and still lower their monthly every year that they apply whatever amount that they have to apply. So for instance, if the tax credit is $10,000 and the customer only has a $2,000 tax liability, well, they're going to get $2,000 for those 5 years. With the 25-year 299 without FlexPay, they could only put the $2,000 in, and it would re-amortize their payment as if they only applied the $2,000. FlexPay allows them to put $2,000 in, lower the payment to that. The next year, put $2,000 in, call in, re-amortize the payment down.
Yep. They can re-am every year.
Yeah, and they get
and that's huge because
huge.
It's huge. And I don't know why everybody in the industry isn't using that, because it's a better for the customer.
Because it's the sales rep or the install company dictating the financing options.
So I'm actually going to
for themselves.
Listen, it costs more. It costs more.
Yeah.
Yep.
It costs the dealer more. That's what it does, right? We know that. But again, it's about putting out the best product for the customer.
Exactly.
Period. So yeah, maybe my costs go up a little bit, but again, I'm not the cheapest guy out there, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to deliver you, customer, the best deal.
Yes.
And why everybody is not using that FlexPay blows me away, because it's the best for the customer.
There's only one scenario it's not, and 90% of customers that we meet with, what is their number one goal?
Save money.
Save money, low payment, right? And most of them don't have additional capital, at least in Las Vegas. They don't have a bunch of money to put towards it.
Right.
So the only time that a customer would not go FlexPay is if they wanted to pay it off early, which is 5% of our customers.
Hardly ever.
Not even 5%.
Yeah, if I'm sitting on a bunch of...
You're 100% right. It is the best.
If you talk to homeowners out there, period, if you're sitting on a bunch of money, the last thing you're going to do is be like, oh, I'm going to go pay cash for my system.
Solar. You're going to put that into the stock market.
That's why it's 3%.
It's interesting. Right. There's actually,
right.
I don't remember the number anymore, but GoodLeap told me, we have a call. I talk to them all the time, but we have our monthly call. And it's actually staggering. I think you guys would be very surprised how many homeowners actually pay off their solar loan. There's like a high percentage of them, I can't remember what it was, that pay it off within the first 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Does that include rolling it into a mortgage? Is the percentage that you're talking about?
Yeah, because they do the refi, which is also huge for homeowners.
It's a big part of it.
It's a big part of it. So that's included in, because I know that GoodLeap does. Because for anyone out there watching this, the absolute best way you could go solar is rolling it into your mortgage if you have the ability. There's no way around it.
And GoodLeap gives you the offer. They offer you to do that.
That's why they're the best.
60 to 90 days after you get your solar installed,
ring, ring, ring.
They're calling you on the phone and they're saying, "Hey, how would you like to refi your house? We'll give you a cheaper interest rate on your mortgage, and we'll tie your solar right into it."
GoodLeap is the quickest, easiest, cheapest, best way to go solar.
It's funny
and for those of you out there, GoodLeap is not sponsoring this podcast. By the way, they should. They should sponsor us.
We'll send this to them.
That's my pitch in the home, guys. Is when I have a customer competing bids and I see Mosaic or I see Solal or I see Sunlight, I hammer the financing and I flat out say that if the company is not offering you GoodLeap as your financing plan, they're not looking out for your best interest. And then I hammer them on why. I hammer them on FlexPay, why they could have a payment of half of what that payment is that they're looking at for the first 18 months. And then, do you have equity in your home? Have you refinanced in the last 5 years? No. Well, this company is not only going to allow you to go solar, nothing out of pocket, and have a payment that's a third of your power bill, they're actually going to call you and roll it all up into one to where you have one single payment, and then, oh, Mr. Customer, you actually get to keep that $9,000 that's your tax credit. So I hammer financing actually more so, don't take personal offense to this, than the install. I do.
I do not at all.
I do.
No offense.
I already say, listen, I'm at 1Solar for a reason. I know you're going to get an epic install. It's going to be very quality. But I hammer financing every time I know they have a competing bid that's not offering good leap. I already said that by the end of the year, they're going to go public and make, for $10 billion. There's a reason why. They're the only company.
There's also something, too, on that, Tyson, too, is GoodLeap is very selective of the solar companies that they do business with. Yep. So if you're sitting down with a customer and they have a competing bid and they don't even offer GoodLeap, listen. Beware. If you can't get approved to be a GoodLeap authorized dealer, something's wrong with your business.
Yep. You haven't been in business long enough.
Or you don't have enough cash flow.
You don't have good financials.
Yeah.
There's a
you know the list.
You've got some black eyes on your licensing or something.
Yeah.
There's a number of reasons, but those are huge reasons why. Or like Tyson said, it's not on the proposal because they don't have your best interest of mind.
100%.
So they might have GoodLeap, but they're not telling you because they don't want to pay whatever and they don't want to do it or whatever. But I'm telling you, the reason solar has boomed the way it has the last 3 years
is the financing.
It's financing.
It is.
And in my opinion, it's GoodLeap.
Jake,
changed our industry. And now everyone's buying and everybody wants solar because it makes sense. Yeah. It makes financial sense.
For the people on this podcast, do you remember 7 years ago the interest rates that we were selling?
Oh, my gosh.
Dude, I'll never forget. I would tell customers like, the best rate you can get is like 7.99. The highest is like 18.99. Yeah. I run their credit, and they get approved for what I knew was 11.99 all along. That's just what the rate was. And then they'd get 11.9 right in the middle, and I'd be like, "Oh man, you got 11.9. You must have good credit." I'd just slap their hand, and then I would just go to, and I'd go to just keep my head down and do docs, and hope they wouldn't be like 11.99%. And as long as I assumed it, majority of the time, I never ran into an issue. But 11.12% interest.
It'd be just like
12% interest. How do you save somebody money?
That's what we sold. It was just like this. Tyson's a customer, and he's got his eyes down and his pen down. Yeah, that's really good. 11, that's really good. Yeah, congratulations. You couldn't even look at him.
You can't look at him.
You couldn't, bro. I had to give them the low of 799, high of 1899. Oh, we got 1199. Man, you must have good credit. And I couldn't even look them in the face. Or we would go interbank, where after 18 months, if they didn't pay the entire loan off, it was slapped with 28%. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, dude,
but that was the industry.
But that's what changed solar as a whole is, you can have a 25-year 1.99%. Yeah.
Solar.
It's like free money.
Solar has always made sense, right? Net metering, the way that an inverter converts your energy.
Financing.
The way you reduce your energy bill. But financing was the missing piece.
It was, man. Yeah. It was.
Come up with something where I can go to the home and in 30 seconds...
Boom, approved.
Qualify someone for $30,000 and sign it and walk out.
Get them a payment lower than their power bill. Do you remember how we used to have to split the financing?
Yeah.
Oh, here's your financing. No interest, no payment for the 35% because we had a state credit. And here, this payment over here that's 65% of the total loan is going to be right about what your electric bill is right now. So we weren't saving them money.
No. The long term, maybe in 15 years, it'd save money.
Well, I don't know. This was before PV. So this is when we were offering them like 30 to 50% from a solar water heater and some.
Yeah, good.
PVs always save people money.
Always.
I'm a firm believer in that. I still have customers.
It has always made sense.
Yeah.
And now with the boom, and solar has we're riding this wave, and it is phenomenal for everybody. I bought solar 7 years ago, and material costs have come down 70%.
That's great. That's great.
It's the only way we're making money.
Right?
And you know why? Is because of, in my opinion, because of financing. more people are buying solar, which means legislation wants to extend tax credits, and manufacturing wants to put more into R&D. So now your panels and your inverters and your racking, it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So now it makes even more sense for homeowners to buy. Now we've kind of flatlined for a little while here.
We have.
But financing is really good.
Yeah, there's
So
kind of a
it's
law.
it's getting better.
Yeah, there's like a law of diminishing returns with bulk buying and manufacturing, and there's those things. But that's what we were dealing with 7 years ago. The cost of materials and the cost of financing. Well, and Goodleap, in my opinion, changed the game.
Changed the
Changed the
whole
game.
game.
That-
I tell my
yeah.
sales reps, if you guys cannot go in and sign up a customer at a 25-year 1.99% interest rate, dude, you
Dude,
should.
it's 1.49.
Now they came out
1.48. 1.48. If you can't sign somebody at 1.48% interest rate
you need
on
to
a
be
flex
doing
pay?
something else.
On a flex pay, like
Solar just makes
you need closer training.
Solar makes so much sense.
Yeah. All right. I guess really the last thing that I think most people watching this, our one viewer that we have, wants to know what's up with the jersey.
Oh, that is a great question, my friend.
Let's
we've had
hear it.
We've had a lot of good questions today.
Is
that a basketball team?
Bandwagon.
Oh, come on. This is a hockey jersey. Yeah, I have been a Milwaukee Bucks fan for probably 50 years since they last won their title. That is also a lie.
Have they ever won a title before?
1971,
Really?
50 years ago.
Jesus.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wow.
He played for them.
Yeah, that was the Bucks' only title. So they just won the NBA title last night. I don't know when this will be put out there, but they won the title last night. And this jersey, number 15, that's my boy Sam Merrill.
Okay.
He was the last pick of the NBA draft this past year.
So he's a rookie.
He's a rookie.
Is he good? I mean,
He's
I
in
don't
the
know.
NBA.
There's some guys in the NBA that aren't that great. I would think.
Well, let's say this.
I mean, I don't watch the NBA.
There's
I
guys
watch
in
hockey,
the NBA
but,
who don't get playing time, but they're making, a couple $1 million a year sitting on the
Okay.
bench or more.
Good for them.
So Sam Merrill, he and I went to the same high school. We're both out of Bountiful, Utah, and my high school team won the state title my senior year in 1997.
Okay.
So now I'm 42 years old.
Okay.
They didn't win a title again until Sam Merrill was there and won a title there. So
you guys have a little.
So we've got a connection. Same coach was there, and our head coach has been there, 25, 30 years. And, so we have this Bountiful High, and
So let me ask you a question about this kid. So
Yeah.
I know that the NBA can take players out of high school, right? Like right out of high school. Like didn't Kobe go out of high school? LeBron went out of high school.
Yeah, but then they stopped doing that.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're forcing him to go to college.
Yeah, or play 1 year somewhere else.
Yeah.
So now kids,
Europe.
Yeah, some of them are going to Europe for
Okay.
a year and coming in. And
Okay, so did he go 1 year or did he go to college 4 years? Like,
no, he went to Utah State, played there for 4 years.
Okay.
I think he's the second all-time leading scorer at Utah State. In my opinion, he's the best ever to play. He's the best Aggie of all time.
nice.
He's phenomenal. He's a great dude. I mean, he's a great kid, comes from a great family. And so I've followed him, obviously since high school.
Nice.
I went and watched him in high school, and a really good friend of mine coached him and their team through AAU ball.
Nice.
So we've of course been following Sam and those guys, and his college career was. They made the March Madness tourney, and then a week later COVID hit.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
I
So-
knew that was coming. That's
yeah.
so brutal.
So they were supposed to make one of those Cinderella runs in 2020, but for him it was to see him go through that his senior year. He was player of the year in the conference, and I mean he's just a phenomenal player. And to go through the NBA workouts and that whole thing, and then get drafted. A lot of second-round draft picks don't even sign contracts with the NBA team. Like they just ship them off, and they hope to come back out of Europe. He signed a deal, so he got a deal. He's got a contract, and the night he was drafted, and I've got the text because I sent it to my buddies last night. I text my buddies that night, and I said, how cool will it be to see the Bucks win the title this year and Sam brings home an NBA ring?
That is so
I
sick.
literally text that loud. The draft
Last year.
Yeah, the draft is usually in the summer, June or July. June, I think. It's usually in June. But because of COVID and the extended season, the draft wasn't until November. So November 18th, he's drafted. And I sent a text to my high school buddies. We're
That's
still
awesome.
very good friends. And anyway, I had sent that to him. I said, the text said something to the effect of, watch him win an NBA title and bring an NBA, championship back to Bountiful High, which is just awesome, right? It's just
That's so
it's
cool.
the coolest story, dude.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to find the jersey. It wasn't like available immediately. He was the last pick in the draft. And
Did he play? Did he play at all?
he played
Is
1 minute in the NBA Finals.
1 minute.
1 minute in like game.
Did he
3.
score? Did he score?
I don't believe he did. I
Damn
don't know if he even got a shot off. But it's
Whatever, he's there. You got a ring.
yeah. He's got a ring. He's got an NBA ring.
Yeah.
That's
NBA championship ring. So it's Sam Merrill and shout out to Bountiful High and Utah State, and so I wore it yesterday watching the game, and I knew I was flying down here, and I'm like, dude, I'm wearing that jersey.
So you've had that jersey on for 2 days.
24
hours.
now.
Okay.
I didn't sleep in it,
Okay.
but I felt like a celebrity in the casinos and on the plane. Oh, people are high-fiving. Hey, good job, man. Good job. I'm like, yeah, I've been a fan my whole life. I've been a Bucks fan
November.
since November. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been a Bucks fan since November, and I caught it right on time.
That's awesome.
So
That's great.
It's a cool story.
Very cool. Well, that's a good way to finish up. Thanks for coming in, dude. Hopefully you'll come in again next time you're in town. Tyson, love you, dude.
Love you too, bro. Always
having you here
second
always.
appearance. I'm sure it won't be the last.
No, it won't be the last.
Hey, look,
So
man,
thanks for having
I
us.
think, like I said, we're just getting started about what we're about to do together, and I think people are going to be seeing a lot more of us and what we're doing to the industry, what we're doing collectively in our markets. And
I agree.
dude, I'm jacked for what's coming.
There's potentially something big on the hook. So
Yep.
hopefully, who knows, 6-9 months from now we can talk about it.
We can reel in the big fish.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
All right.
thanks, Thad.
Thanks,
Thanks,
man.
Tice.
Yep.
See you guys.